Welcome to another edition of New Mexico True Talent Presents. I am very excited about the conversation that we're having today. Thanks to Dr. Tony Marin of New Mexico State University. He's the Assistant Vice President of Student Affairs. And we're going to talk about a really wonderful organization that's been partnering with New Mexico State and other universities across the country, the Hispanic Scholarship Fund. And they are really very focused on supporting students in having a good, clear understanding of the path to and through college. So today we're going to talk about how HSF can help you if you're the student looking to go to college, or if you're the parent helping your student prepare to go to college, how they can be a partner with you. Tony, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Tracy, for your invitation. Proud to be here.
So talk to us a little bit about the Hispanic Scholarship Fund. What do they do? And we're going to talk about two events that are coming up, but really, how do they help support student success?
Okay, well, the Hispanic Scholarship Funds, their mission and their purpose is to empower families with the knowledge and resources to successfully complete a higher education while providing scholarships and support services to as many exceptional students as possible. Now, having said that, as we all know, there is a cost of going to college. There are tuition and fees and other costs available. And so one aspect of the Hispanic Scholarship Fund is that they do provide scholarships to students. They select roughly 10,000 students nationwide to be part of their scholar program, in which they do receive a scholarship program. A scholarship for college. Having said that, the other portion of what the Hispanic Scholarship Fund does is they offer access and success services to not only students, but also to families. And so that's a really important aspect. And they offer these services to students as young as middle school. And so it's never too early to start planning for students to kind of be thinking about their careers, to be thinking about their pathway to higher ed success, whether that's a 2-year degree, whether that's a 4-year degree, whether that's a professional degree or a graduate degree. And so they provide a lot of information to demystify the process in terms of how to go to college, how to successfully, transition to college, and how to support your students while they are in college.
Wow, that's really helpful. I know I'm a first-generation college graduate, 4-year college graduate, and yes, navigating that by myself, my parents were not even engaged in that process, was really challenging. So this is what they're providing, and it's for all students. I want to be clear about that the resources we're going to talk about are for any student to help plan for college. And I want to real quickly dispel a myth that I can't afford college. There's a ton of people in our community that just don't really know you can afford college, and there's a lot of ways to help you. And it's not just going out in the wide world of scholarships and trying to figure it out. Many of our students qualify for Pell Grants. We have both Dona Ana Community College and New Mexico State University within our county. We're very richly blessed with educational institutions that'll help you get anywhere you're trying to go. So really, I want to dispel the myth right up front that you can't afford college, because that tends to not be the case, right, Tony?
That you're absolutely right, Tracy. And as a fellow first-generation college student as well, I think we can attest to that. Certainly, there are a plethora of federal programs. Tracy mentioned the Pell Grant, which is need-based. There's also access to different scholarships that are statewide, such as the lottery scholarship and so forth. But there are so many different pathways individuals can take in terms of planning to pay for college. And I realize that, folks don't want to necessarily go into debt, by taking out a student loan. But the way that I look at it is a student loan is more of an investment. I've taken out student loans and I've, probably paid them back. And it's an investment in higher education. It's an investment in your future. And so there are so many resources, financial wise, scholarships, that are available to students, whether they're merit-based, At New Mexico State, we just have a number of scholarships that sometimes go unused because students don't apply for them. And so one of the things that I would highly encourage students to do and families, no matter where they're going to go to college, hopefully it's New Mexico State or Dona Ana Community College, is that they definitely make sure that they complete their NMSU Scholar Dollar application. And that database will allow for students to basically learn about the scholarships that they qualify for. But Tracy, it's an investment. Sometimes, if we look at anything that's worth doing, and college definitely is and I know and others know, a college graduate, whether at the 2-4 year graduate degree or professional degree, they tend to earn a heck of a lot more than students who just have a high school education or less. And there's other benefits, certainly they tend to live longer, they tend to give back to their community more, they tend to be a little bit more healthier because they have access to healthcare insurance and so forth. And so with respect to being able to pay for college, it's there. There are different pathways that folks can take. The more research that students and parents and families do with what they want their students to achieve, and what type of career that they want to go into, there's a lot of information. And I know at New Mexico State University, as well as Dona Ana Community College, part of our mission and part of our responsibility as serving the citizenry of New Mexico is to make sure that we're able to provide that information. And so sometimes it is a matter of, what is the end goal? Is it, if the student wants to definitely get out there in the workforce a little bit quicker, we have so many 2-year programs at DACC that will definitely benefit not only them, but our community and our region as large. And having said that, I'm a proponent for 4-year education as well. And I think that's, again, we have staff, we have advisors, we have quite a few outreach programs up here at New Mexico State that are willing to basically work with students and their families, including financial aid. That would be a great starting point. But I would invite parents and students, to basically engage with New Mexico State and come up to the campus, take a tour of the campus, and find out about all the programs that we have here at New Mexico State to make sure students succeed.
Well, I thank you for saying that. There's 2 things that I think are really important about what you said. And number one, college, it doesn't only mean 4-year university, right? A career certification in a skill, a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, graduate degrees, they all have value, but what you need to kind of have a sense of is, where do you want to use them in a career, so you can be a really well-informed consumer of the choices that you have here, because you have a lot of choice here. And number 2, I tell students all the time, go to college to as close to free as you possibly can. And really, I think that it's important for our students to be aware, and our families, that the desire is not to, saddle a student with debt. As a matter of fact, New Mexico has some of the lowest tuition rates in the country, is some of the most affordable education in the country. But, the lottery scholarship, the opportunity scholarship, the Crimson Dollar, there's so many different ways to have that college education funded without going into debt first. And I really encourage families. That's exactly why we're having this conversation about the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, because what they're going to talk about, and I'm going to put the screen up here. What they are talking about is, how can you plan for this? So this is the Hispanic Scholarship Fund's website. It's hsf.net is the website. And there's 2 events that are coming up, one in February and one in April. And Tony, who is also a fellow with the Hispanic Scholarship Fund and participates with a broader group of folks in New Mexico, is really sort of the liaison now between the Hispanic Scholarship Fund and New Mexico State University. The first event that's coming up is College 101, and I think this is really getting at some of the conversation we've been having. That's going to be held on February 24th. Can you talk just a little bit about what that is?
Sure. This workshop it's about 3 hours as the information is presented up in the screen, and it's offered in English and in Spanish. And again, it is designed for high school students and their families. And so again, I'm going to emphasize parents and families, because that is key. That's the key partnership. And as Tracy has mentioned, there are different ways in terms of we can look at college in terms of affordability and how paying for it and how to properly plan. That way students have as a low amount of debt as they can when they graduate from college. And so this particular workshop will provide information again on how to prepare, how to plan, and how to pay for college. And again, talking, from a perspective of an individual who works at the university, there are so many resources that students can basically take advantage of. But one of the things that's really important is that the families are engaged, because parents and family members are going to be able to basically mentor the student and basically guide them, in terms of what makes the most financial success for attaining college education. Okay, and so again, we hope that this particular program, again, the last program that we had was pretty successful with a good number of students and parents both participating. But this will be an opportunity for parents to ask any questions that they want. We're real proud that New Mexico State University is going to be one of the lead panelists. We'll have personnel from there to be able to answer questions with respect to how to better plan for college and how to pay for college.
Thank you for that. And I think that it's really, I think that the point about parents and, I'm a parent, my sons are grown now, but that college sphere, even though I had been to college, was kind of foreign. It's, been a few years, right? And for parents who maybe haven't gone to college, I don't ever want a parent to think they're not the right partner for their student in thinking about and mapping their future, because parents are literally the ones that know their student the best. They know the child the best and can be a partner in helping make those decisions. So for parents, this is an opportunity to get information you may not have had so that you can play a strong partnership role. And I really just, doing this as a team. And, I love the fact too that I know I've had people say, well, I'm afraid that if my students go to college, they'll leave because there won't be jobs. There's not jobs here. Well, I'm going to show you in a minute. Please don't ever say that or think that again. There's so many amazing jobs in Dona Ana County that some level of, college certificate, 2-year degree, 4-year degree equips our students for. We absolutely have some of the most amazing career opportunities in our community, and some piece of college helps prepare our students to stay here and take advantage of them. Let me real quick before I go to that, let's talk about the other event. It's not until April, and we probably should, have another conversation a little closer to the date. But if people want to start planning for this now, can you tell me about the Road to College event?
Okay, it's going to be a similar event for parents and family members of students who are in high school, but also in middle school. And Tracy, the research that we have, and that's there nationally, that's proven, to be effective, is that the sooner that we can get students onto a college campus, the more likely and the more likely that they're going to see themselves in this particular environment. And so there's nothing that makes me more happier than seeing, elementary school students and middle school students taking tours here on the New Mexico State University campus. It's really important to make sure that they feel that, hey, this is something I can do. And while New Mexico State has many programs that provide outreach to the community to bring students onto campus, this particular program will, again, try to assist parents from early on the onset to start planning and to see what they can do to make sure that their students successfully transition into the university through the college admissions process, as well as bridging over to a university or a college of their choice, and to make sure that they have the information that they know that students need to do while they're in college to be successful. So you mentioned a little bit about employment, and so I'm going to capitalize on that a little bit. One of the things that the good folks at the Hispanic Scholarship Fund do is that they bring individuals from private industry. And many of those individuals are former Hispanic Scholarship Fund scholars, and they talk about their experiences and the important to-dos in order to be successful once the students get their degree. And so they talk about internships, they talk about experiential learning opportunities, they talk about job shadowing, they talk about things that have made them successful in their career while they've been in college. And so while we're talking about the access and the college admissions process, we have those folks that also bring in and support the importance of, taking full advantage of opportunities while at the university to make them more marketable, as well having more job choices or career pathways.
That's really good. And let me just, I'm going to open this up. So I apologize that you're not going to see anything for a sec, but NewMexicoTrueTalent.org is a site that was established by the Bridge of Southern New Mexico, and it is a desire to connect the dots between education and employment. And so we have actually career pathways. These are some of the best careers in our community. And what we've done, and I'm going to choose aerospace as an example, what we've done is we've not just said, well, what would it look like for me to pursue a career in aerospace? Well, if you look across the bottom, those are the different kinds of jobs at the lower skill level, the middle skill level, the higher skill level, and of course you could be an entrepreneur. But if you look at the green, those are the academic choices you can make along the way. So if you're a middle school student or a high school student, these are choices you can be making on your way to a degree. It could be a 2-year degree. It could be a career certification as a welder, as an example. And then a 4-year degree, and of course graduate degrees have a lot of value as well. And then we have the desire to really think about work-based learning and really helping students get exposure, hands-on learning, and that is primarily done through career and technical education pathways that are here available in our high schools in Dona Ana County. But we've gone a step further, and no one else in the state has done this. We have interviewed the employers that are key employers in this industry here. You know, aerospace is a big deal in Dona Ana County, and it takes place at NASA and White Sands Missile Range and Spaceport America and Virgin Galactic. And so we asked some of the major employers in this space, sort of, you know, tell me about your workforce and what do you need? And as you can see, you know, they don't just need engineers, they need people who can do business management. They need people who can do arts and AV. So that's when we say, when Tony and I are saying, you know, thinking about a career and then sort of backing up educationally, what are the academic choices I should make to get to that? The closer you can think about the end, the better choices you'll make. The other things we know are, you know, what do these jobs pay? Well, these jobs pay some of the highest salaries in our region. You know, what does the ideal candidate look like for aerospace, commercial space, and defense? We've quantified what employers are looking for in math, reading, writing, and language skills, employability skills, technology skills, and digital literacy. So if people are thinking about, you know, some of these amazing careers that are available here, these are some of the skills that they should acquire along the way, or the educational choices they can choose. We did also find out what are the most valuable degrees to these people: the bachelor 4-year degrees, the associate 2-year degrees. Maybe you just want to get a certificate in a certain kind of skill. Well, we've quantified that as well. And yes, there are some jobs that are for people that don't have a degree, but they really value experience. So if you have experience in facilities, for example, in another area, you know, they can still use those people because they value the experience. If you're going to take a software, you know, programming course, then these are the languages they're trying to learn. And so we've really been intentional about with all of our career pathways. And I confess that there's 2 that are not up there. From the pathways up there for like healthcare, we're actually doing that right now. But for healthcare, you know, we can show you the pathway, and we will have the employer information forthcoming. And value-added agriculture, same thing. So you know, one of the things that I hope people who watch this get from Tony and I is that the sky's the limit. Is that too corny? For people to take advantage of the academic assets that are here and the employment assets that are here. There's one of the, I keep saying this, Dona Ana County is one of the most amazing places to get to grow up, and you can do a lot. So thanks to NMSU, the partnership with the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, you know, we're really grateful to you guys for partnering up to help our students be ready for their future. And I just want to say before we conclude, the New Mexico True Talent Presents series is made available by some funders who were gracious enough to support the Bridge of Southern New Mexico as we're trying to get the word out. So our thanks to the Union Pacific Foundation and also the United Way of Southwest New Mexico, who have helped fund this series of conversations. You can always learn more by visiting NewMexicoTrueTalent.org. You'll find these videos actually under the COVID-19 tab Tony, I just want to thank you for your time and your expertise in this area, and we will look forward to having our community participate in a big way.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you for everything that the Bridge of Southern New Mexico is doing. Great work.
Our pleasure. Well, thank you so much. All right, have a good one.
Bye-bye.